Welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT. Tonight we're live on iRacing for round 2 of the Pagnian Import Skip Barber Cup, and we're in the Skip Barber Formula 2000s, and there's been a lot of fun to see racing. Last week we did have the opening round, which was at Brands Hatch Circuit, and tonight for round 2 is Lime Rock Park GP, so there's going to be some very close racing action tonight in the Skip Barbers. The session tonight, we've got 10 minutes of practice, weather is partly cloudy, and we've got 10 minutes of qualifying, and the race is 40 minutes, and fuel has been capped to the cars for 47%, so it does mean the drivers will need to do a pit stop to be able to make it home. It is a standing start. The restart type is single file with lap cars to the back, and the ongoing weather variation is set to 20%, so you may see a slight change in that weather. After the first round, we have Blake Urquhart leading the championship with 155 points. Robbie Bradbury following in with 127, and Stephen Banks also not too far behind with 119. And for the opening round at Brands Hatch, we had Blake Urquhart take the clean sweep to start the championship lead, so taking that pole position, the fastest lap, bonus points and the victory. And then the drivers are all competing for a fantastic prize, so courtesy of our series sponsor Logitech G Australia and New Zealand. They've put up a Logitech G Pro X wireless gaming headset, and that's valued about $400, so it's a fantastic prize to be able to win, and Blake is well and truly on his way to check that out. So we'll bring up the track map now. So at Lime Rock Park, we're in the USA. Track length is 2.34 kilometers. You can see the map showing a few drivers already out and about on the track. So we've got about 11 drivers loading into the session at the moment. So we'll jump over onto the track now. And if you are just joining us for the stream, don't forget to hit that follow button. We've had a good amount of followers over the last week. We're almost at that 190 follower mark now, so it's very exciting to see. And then also, while you join the stream, jump into the chat, say hello, let us know who you're here to cheer on. And then also, we have the sound effects controls underneath, so you can play a variety of sound effects, so that way you can cheer, boo, applaud, and a whole bunch of other fun sounds to do. Enjoy yourself and make the stream your own. And we've got, I should be expecting some newcomers tonight as well. So we've got Dean Williams debuting with Apex Esports League tonight. So wishing him all the best in his race. So good to see how he goes. Over to Mark Cochrane. He did debut with us last week. And we had a very good, tight, clean race last week. It was a pleasure to watch back that race. The guys were very close indeed. And Blake did manage to pull away pretty quickly in the end. And we did miss Sebastian Vandel, who had a PC failure, not being able to get back on. So luckily he's got those technical issues resolved so we can make it tonight. So rumours are he's been very quick in these Skip Barbers. He's very quick in most of the cars that we post for our series. And look at that tail sliding out. A lot of slip from Ryan. And Ryan's currently coming 4th in the championship. He's got 104 points. He's showing a lot of pace last week, so keeping an eye on Ryan tonight. A little bit of bad luck seeing him go off at one point, which did look like a little bit of lag contact had actually caused it. A bit of a battle going on between Sebastian and Dean Williams. Do let us know if the audio isn't sounding too great. We have had some issues with the new layout for our streams. Last week's streamed races being a little bit on the quiet side. So hopefully we should have all those audio levels back up and running. So the quickest time so far is Ryan Carlson. He set a 1:01.032. So it's just about a minute 10 left of practice, and then we've got 10 minutes of qualifying. There's 25 points on the line for taking pole position. Drivers do earn championship points for qualifying position. Matt Hardigan's second quickest out there. Maguire running the 6th quickest time. Phil Buckland position 7. Set a 1:04.365. Nathan Peters currently for the 9th. Oh, look at that slide. I think that may be Ryan absolutely flying through that final corner. Well, it looks like there may have been a little bit of contact between Sebastian and Aaron Maguire as that was coming up. I'm pretty sure that was turn 1 where they've just ran off. And then we have open practice finish. So drivers heading into the qualifying now. We'll jump on board for a lap with one of our drivers in a moment. Looks like we're missing Stephen Banks and Robbie Bradbury from last week. I know Stephen Banks just loading into the server now. Slightly misjudging the chicane, so he's just brought that car back into the pits. But Hardigan sitting very tight there with Aaron Maguire. Actually, no, that might be Nathan Peters, actually, sorry. Pushing some huge pace. Oh, hey, mate. And there he is. As we're speaking, he's Robbie away for work this week. But making it for the stream. Bit of slip from Matt Hardigan. So we had Ryan Carlson set the quickest time in the practice. I think he's pretty much coming on to a lap very soon. So we'll jump on board. So he goes for his first hot lap. So you saw him putting in a lot of slide through turn 1. Still squealing that car all the way around that big long right hand bend. Look at that offset lock as he's fighting that car through. He's really pushing this Skip Barber. He's misjudged the chicane a little bit too quick. Couldn't pull that car up in time. It is a very tricky chicane, trying to go curb to curb. Getting too much curb here will put the car out into a spin and then out into that tyre wall. Can be race ending, going off there. A lot of slide on that exit curb, a little bit too much. That back wheel must have dropped off that tiny bit, getting loose out into the dirt. But that was a 102.803. He's pushing that car to its absolute limits at some phenomenal speed. But Sebastian Vandel has set a 1 minute 6:06. So he's currently holding pole with that time. Blake Urquhart 0.6 away. So he set that lap and then brought the car back into the pits. Traffic in the chicane. Dean Williams currently qualifying in third. He's tucked right in behind Aaron Maguire. If he's not going to be held up by Aaron's pace, he's going to be in a very good position here to get a good run of speed down pit straight. Use that slipstream, he might be able to improve his lap time. It's not an improvement. He has qualified with a 102. That was a couple of seconds off that pace. Aaron Maguire just ahead of him. He's currently qualified in fifth. So we've got 12 drivers in the session at the moment. And Stephen Banks has now loaded up and out on track. His first lap, a 103.092. That's set him in 7th position. Sebastian still holding that pole time. 1 minute 0.6. His previous lap of 102.227. Ryan still sliding that tail out. Hey Gallen, thanks for joining us. Look at him slide that tail out. We saw him get very loose in the rear when we jumped on board for that hot lap around. That's a much better lap. He's just got himself into 2nd place. That was with a 1 minute 8:46. Oh, a little bit too much pace, and that's just in front of Blake Urquhart. He's managed to recover that. Blake currently in 3rd. Sarah has just been bumped down a spot. Stephen Banks qualifying in 5th position. Setting a 1 minute 1. Dean Williams, our debut tonight, currently qualifying in 2nd place, so he's just pushed down Ryan Carlson's time. And he's very close to Sebastian's time. That was a 1 minute 0.651. He's only a 0.046 away from Sebastian's pole time. It's not going to take much to try and shave that off. And if you can try and tuck him behind another driver and get that slipstream. Miguel, and yes, this is qualifying at the moment. So there's 2 minutes left. Oh, a lot of slide from Ryan as he hits the bumps on that inside corner. You see that car drifting around. Stephen Banks moving up the ladder. He's now into 4th position. Ryan Carlson, that lap was a 1:04. He's just bumped down Sebastian Vandel, so he's stolen pole position away. And with only 1:20 left on the clock, there's only going to be 1 or 2 laps left in the session. Takes a lot of curb coming into that chicane. Crossed over just as he hit that. There's a lot of bounce. And Blake Urquhart in 5th. There's 40 seconds remaining for qualifying. This will be the last time the drivers can cross the line. And they should have enough time to get one more lap in. Matt carrying a good amount of speed here. Should have him on for a very good lap if he can get around the final corner. He nicely carried that speed. Just gets that rear off. It's a 1:01. That's moved up into 5th position. So it's now qualifying complete, so it's last laps. Not sure if that was just a bit of mucking around, getting loose on that last corner there, or if they were really pushing the car to its limits right at the end. So Ken Sebastian sealed pole position away. It's going to be looking pretty good to improve that time. 58.59, 1:0.357. It's not enough to take pole. No, it is. He gets it. 0.072. So there we have results done for the qualifying for round 2. We'll bring the details up now. We have Sebastian Vandel stealing pole position on that final lap. Only just scraping in front of Ryan Carlson by 0.072. That is super close. And then the rest of the grid, we have Ryan Carlson, Dean Williams, Stephen Banks, Matt Tesserio, Blake Urquhart, Matt Hardigan, Aaron Maguire, Nathan Peters, Mark Cochran. And jump over the page. And that's actually all just gone skewy for me. I did actually forget to pause the data, so hopefully I'll be able to go back and just see what those are. See if I can get those qualifying results back up. No, it has actually all made it mixed up. I did just miss it. That is rather unfortunate, but we'll be over to the grid now. Drivers readying their cars up for the start of the race. So the drivers got just over a minute to change over their setups. Once all the drivers have hit that ready button, we'll see the lights start to get ready for the start of race 2 in the Pagnian Imports Skip Barber Cup. Sebastian looking to try and get a clean sweep tonight. He's got his heart set on trying to get that Logitech Pro X wireless gaming headset. So he was very devastated to have his PC die on him last week, not being able to make the race. But if he can get a clean sweep tonight and keep that running, all the drivers have hit ready. So we're about to see the lights go green for round 2.
Green, green, green.
And green flag, and we're away. A little bit of a delayed start by Sebastian. That's going to see Ryan Carlson move right up on him. Dean Williams also starting to close that gap on him. He has the track position for turn 1. He's going to have to already start considering defending that line just within the first couple of corners. Ryan's already pushing some huge pace on him. Looks like we've got away to a very good clean start. Sebastian with a little bit more pace through the chicane. Can he carry that momentum and be able to pull away from Ryan before getting on the pit straight? As Ryan was carrying a lot of speed through that final corner. And that could definitely be the advantage he needs to try and make a move on him. Oh, but he gets a little bit loose on that final corner. You can see Sebastian trying to break that stream. Dean Williams gets a little loose in the tail through the first corner. These guys starting to pull away a little bit. We've got Stephen Banks looking to close down on Blake Urquhart. Matt Cesario quickly closing in on Banks as well. We had Callan Hodgkinson joining the session late, but he's just gone off. I'm not sure if that might have been a little bit of lag contact there. He's just end up towing the car. I don't think he took any damage. Not sure why to go to tow, going off in the grass, but we just had Ryan Carlson nearly bin it on the final corner. He managed to save that car, but it did manage to make him lose a lot of pace. That's going to be an advantage to Sebastian now. If he can try and pull away just that little bit more, he's not going to have that slipstream advantage, and he's going to have Dean sitting on his tail very quickly. He's got Nathan Peters. Oh, he's taken some damage, and he's having some issues getting into the pits. Not sure what went on for him there, but he's completely broken that right-hand side. We will see what's going on for him. Looks like he's made some heavy walk on it. He's even done a full lap. So he's locked it up, going through turn 1. Oh, and then just made contact to another car's going past. That is very unfortunate. A little bit loose there for Sebastian. Ryan hasn't given up on him yet. However, Dean started to drop away. Banks is now putting a lot of pressure onto Urquhart. Matt Cesario still closing down on Stephen Banks. Banks goes for a pass just on the exit of the chicane, so it's now got him side by side with Blake. Takes that racing line for the next corner. But Blake could definitely carry a lot of speed into the final corner here. And slingshot around down pit straight. He's going to have to try and defend it. He's going for the move straight away. Now side by side down pit straight, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get ahead. He's going to have to force yield to Banks. just tucks in, almost going for a switchback move. Dean Williams just spun out ahead, but he's managed to save the car. Banks, Urquhart, and maybe even Matt's going to get past here. Matt looking for an inside move. We've got Sebastian now leading the race by 1.4 seconds. Banks has moved up into third position. And there's a fair gap between himself and position 2. There's 6.4 seconds separating Carlson and Banks. Carlson's starting to close down on Vandel again. There may have been a little bit of a slip from Vandel, losing a tad bit of speed. It looks like Callan ended up retiring out of the race. So we're on lap 5. I'll bring the ticker up. That might good to see what's going on in the standings there. So Nathan Peters currently in 12th position. Russell Gander in 11th. Just up ahead is Philip Buckland in position 10. Mark Cochran in position 9. He's got nearly a 9-second gap between himself and Aaron Maguire, who's sitting in position 8. There's a good line of traffic as we come down pit straight. That's Matt Hardigan, Matt Tesserio, Blake Urquhart and Dean Williams all lined up down pit straight. It's about 7 minutes in. Having done 6 laps, Sebastian has led for the full 6 laps. He's still managing to hold that gap. He's about 1.7 seconds away from Ryan Carlson at this stage. Dean Williams looking to try and get around Banks. Dean was having a lot of pace, but ended up losing off a lot of speed by getting that tail loose and losing a couple of positions, allowing Stephen and Blake to get around. He's now side by side. Almost going to be free wide coming down in the turn 1. This could be interesting. Oh, a little bit of contact. That is very lucky that they didn't lock wheels there. That was some perfect rubbing on the tyres that only just bounced them away. They're going tooth and nail for this position 3. Even Urquhart looking to try and get around Banks here. Matt sitting back and probably just crossing his fingers. These guys might take themselves out and then just hope he doesn't get caught up into it. He's going to have to be very cautious in trying to look for an opening to get around here. It's like peak hour traffic here with these 4. Oh, I'm not sure if there's contact there. That's huge stack.
Caution, yellow flag.
Just in front of pit lane. That was an intense bit of contact. We'll go back and have a look there. So safety car on its way out now. Let's see if we can catch what went on. It's a little bit of a touch here. So we've got a little bit of slip between them. There's a little bit of lag contact there. And Stephen Banks fared fairly well considering. So it's not going to be favourable for Sebastian Vandel. It's going to see Ryan Castle right up his tail for the restart. He did put a lot of pressure onto him very early on. I just noticed Sebastian sporting the Apex eSports League logo on the side of his car. Thanks very much, Sebastian. Do you know, Full Throttle Racing guys have brandished the Apex eSports League logo on their car as well. Nick Bino, Damien, he's got night shift for the first few weeks, so that's why we haven't seen him on Project Cars or iRacing. So we'll see Banks and Blake start to catch up after heading into the pits. They're very fortunate where they went off. And it will be interesting just to see what they did, whether they will still have enough fuel to be able to last out. So with the cars being capped at 47% fuel, we notice around Brands Hatch at the halfway mark, they were needing to come in and get fuel. They were getting very light, and even the drivers finishing up basically on fumes. And those cars were starting to get very flighty towards the back end of those stints. So we've got Blake back into the pits again. Not sure if he's gone in whilst that was closed pits or not. So we should probably see another lap around once we cross the control line before we go to green. So Gallon needs to relax the position. Yes, if we had more live race control for that, we could be doing that. That is something that we'll be seeing when we come into the Bathurst 1000, running professional live race control. It's going to be very exciting, and looking forward to seeing how that goes. So it won't just be myself trying to keep an eye on things whilst broadcasting. Then we'll even have an assistant broadcaster as well, so it won't be able to last out 8 hours of commentating, that's for sure. Matt Tesario having a good amount of track to try and catch up to the pack. Not sure if he's just gone off during the safety lap. It's not coming up that he's... He might have actually needed a tow by the looks of things. This is currently 2 laps down to the race lead. So it'll allow him to move up, and the game will reorder the drivers. So it'll put lap cars to the back of the field. So it won't start doing that until all the drivers have caught back up. Then it'll rearrange, ready for the restart. And then we'll see the one to green. Oh, there's some contact there. I think that's between Banks and Urquhart. Hopefully that hasn't taken damage again. All safety cars in, so that means we are going green. Sebastian now having control
Green
for
flag,
the
green flag.
restart. He gets away nicely. It's on lap 12, 5 minutes to the halfway point. Ryan Carlson now having a huge advantage, having caught back up under the safety car. Just look how close he's getting in on Sebastian. We saw Sebastian having to defend just only on lap 1. It's on the nose of Ryan Carlson's car. See him fighting that steering. Tyre's probably a little bit cool. A little bit of oversteer coming out of that corner. So the suspension is quickly closed down in on Sebastian. He was almost going to go for an inside opening, but then Sebastian did start to drift across. Can he make a move? He's running out of opportunities. This next sector not too easy to make a pass. You'll have to hold back from the chicane and try and power through and get him on the runoff. He gets him though just before the chicane. What a move. Very tidy line, so he now moves into the race lead. Sebastian dropping into second place. A lot of rear slip from the two. Dean Williams hanging on. Ryan and Sebastian both looking to break the stream. Sebastian did look for an inside line attempt. Ryan did defend it. There wasn't enough speed to be able to carry through. Blake Urquhart just gets around Aaron Maguire. Considering he's been involved in an incident and then also pitting in twice. Blake's recovered back into 5th position. Banks also having pit twice. And he's right on the tail of Mark Cochran. Slings out into turn 1. Carries a lot of speed. He's now moved up into position 7. He's got a couple of seconds until he catches up to Aaron Maguire. A fair bit of squeaking there from the suspension of these cars as they're hitting the curbs through that chicane, using every bit of track. We're approaching the halfway mark, so it's 21 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. It's on lap 15. We've had Peters, Cesario, Banks and Urquhart all pit in. Sebastian's just dropped down into 3rd position. I think he may have actually gotten a little bit loose. We'll just see how he got past. So there's a bit of a tandem slide there between Vandel and Carlson. So that's let that opening come up for Dean to move up into position 2. That could have gone much worse for Vandel. He's recovered that car. Stephen Banks and Blake Urquhart. Only feeling a little bit of deja vu here. Banks is quickly moving up the rungs. Well, it looks like Dean Williams just gone off. I don't think he's taken any damage. That's allowed Sebastian now to move back up into position 2. Now Dean's dropped down into 8th. And these guys haven't been in pit. And we did notice around the 20-minute mark the cars were getting very light. Sebastian, yeah, heading into the pits, that car's probably getting very skatey out there. We did notice last week Ryan set up, and then even again tonight, that car is very flighty. Must be having a lot of fun drifting this thing just about through every corner. Oh, there's been a huge stack. I think that's Banks. That's a massive stack. So that'll be safety car coming out.
The yellow flag
So
is
we'll be
out.
needing a tow here. That's not what I'm looking for. Oh, he's just gone for the pass. We'll jump on board. Huge crash. And then a lot of lag. You can see it skipping through. That's almost nauseating just seeing how much it's going. And oh yeah, it looks like the car ahead almost actually practically stopped. Goes for the pass. So it looks like a little bit of lag going on, so it actually froze the car. And then the car glitching through. That's very unfortunate for Stephen Banks. Not having a whole lot of luck out of it tonight. So this will be prime opportunity for the race leaders head into the pits now. Get that fuel, so we see Ryan Carlson and Matt Hardigan peeling off. I think that's far. It's Blake Urquhart just behind. He has already been in for 2 stops. So Banks will be currently being towed, so he's going to have a lengthy pit stop. Hopefully that'll be enough time to be able to at least get back out on track and catch up to the safety car. Yeah, Galen, is Banks okay after that? I was going to say, if it was the real deal there, you would be very sore. That's a spectacular incident. Russell Gander currently tucked in behind the safety car. Everyone else has peeled off into the pits. Gander having already pit. Russell did pit on lap 16. So we pit around the halfway mark. So we should be right to run with fuel. Like, really trying to keep as much temp into them tyres as you can. Really flipping the tail out. As far as the car hasn't gone in for a full spin, actually. You can see the field being reorganised for the restart. Ryan will have control of the race. Last time it was Sebastian Vandel. Yeah, Gallon right reminds of Long Beach. It was some spectacular stacks in that. It is quite neat seeing the damage model they have on these cars. Seeing the broken wheels. I hope to be able to see the damage models being applied to more cars as we go through. I was even having fingers crossed that the last patch may have even been rain added to the game. That is being promised for this year. As well as awaiting 2 more Australian tracks. So safety cars in. Ryan's now got control of the race. Get a bit of TV angle.
Green.
That's green flag. Ryan gets away. He's got Blake Urquhart sitting in behind him in position 2. Well, a little bit of traffic coming out of the pits at the restart. Not sure whose car that is. But did catch the drivers by surprise. They did just quickly change racing line. Ryan quickly pulling away from Blake at the restart. Stephen Banks in position 11 after that incident. For surprisingly only 1 lap down on the race lead. Just over 12.5 minutes remaining. That can still be recovered. We saw him climb up the ranks quickly after the last restart. Sebastian Vandel sitting hot tight. Well, actually, that's a lapped car. It's a blue flag shown there. This allowed Sebastian to move up. There's been a little bit of movement. Matt Hardigan and Mark Cochran battling for position 6. I think Philip Buckland also battling here, so the 3 all very close together. Hardigan now looking to try and close in and make the move on Buckland. Hardigan looking for that opening, didn't quite get it on the exit of the chicane. Looking to go for an outside line. He's going to have to be able to slingshot here. He's going to have to hold the same line as Philip Buckland and then slingshot out. Cochran's also going to get involved here. So he had the 2-car slipstream. Is it going to be enough to be able to tuck in for turn 1? Oh, it's been a lock up ahead. I think it's Nathan Peters. Locked up in turn 1. He was being shown blue flag at the time. And then seeing these guys go hot, nearly 3 wide into turn 1. I probably would have just ducked off to the side of the track as well. to get around Philip Buckland. The race lead is Ryan Carlson. We're on lap 24. There's just under 10.5 minutes remaining. Ryan has led for 12 laps. The other 13 led by Sebastian. Sebastian currently in 4th position. Well, Vardell was side by side with Dean Williams. Sebastian not out of this battle yet. He's only 2.1 seconds away from Carlson. He can still climb back up there and battle him for the race lead. So we should see about another 8 laps or so. Hopefully no incident. Limerock Park proving to be very tight racing indeed with the Skip Barbers. It's going to be a very tight racing series with these cars. So we'll be at Alton Park next week with Brands Hatch showing some great pace and just how tight these guys have been racing. Alton Park's going to be even more of an intense battle. Sebastian now looking to get around Blake. Blake being the series leader after round 1 with the clean sweep. Sebastian will be needing to try and look at a clean sweep tonight to be able to still have a good shot at trying to win the Logitech G Pro X wireless gaming headset. Oh, look at that slide. Vandell's been in and pit twice. Blake's done 3 stops. 2, which was done under 1 safety car. Sebastian flying ahead. Gets around Blake and then already putting a half a second gap on him. His sights now set on Carlson. Carlson's only been done 1 pit stop. We could potentially see that car starting to get rather flighty and he may have to back off a little bit. That could be the opportunity for Vandell to move up. Blake's not going to make it easy for him. He's going to be putting a lot of pressure on from behind. Oh, I think that's Banks. It's just got, no, not sure who that is. Well, it looked like a red car going off. I think it might have been Dean Williams. He's judging the exit of turn 1. That's cost him a bit of time. Blake starting to drop away from Sebastian. Gallon, yes. Yeah, we wasn't sure. He said he wasn't pushing any buttons at the end of the session. I did send him a message saying that's probably what he was doing, hitting X at the end to continue on. He's well too accustomed to iRacing. It was great to see him jumping on the controller and getting in some racing on project cars. So he did try and join in quite some time ago. That's when we had a hefty reserve list and he did miss out. So now we're running the 2 divisions for project cars. We have lots of opportunity for a whole bunch of drivers to get involved in the championship. Since we have that limitation of 16 drivers, where iRacing we don't have that restriction, which is fantastic. So hopefully we can only just see more and more cars turn up for our iRacing events. A little bit limited with the skip barbers, not too many owning the car. But these things are a lot of fun to get out and drive. You can see that just with how Ryan's been absolutely thrashing this car around. You can see him getting a little bit more loose in the rear now. So it's just under 5 minutes left. He's probably running rather light on fuel. So it's probably going to see Sebastian. He's going to be having a little bit more grip with the extra fuel load. So there's a little bit of a gap. We'll make our way through the grid. Currently, we have Callum Hodgkinson, who retired out in lap 1 in 13th position. Aaron Maguire in position 12. He ended up having quite a big spill and requiring a tow. So he did manage to recover well, only being 3 laps down from the race lead. Nathan Peters heading into the pits. There's only 4 minutes remaining. He's already been for 3 stops. That's going to hurt him here. Russell Gander in position 10. Stephen Banks in 9th position. And considering the amount of incidents he's been managed to get caught up in, only 1 lap down, running 9th. He's had 2 pit stops and one of them being a tow. Matt Serra in position 8. So just ahead of him is Matt Hardigan, who's in position 5, so he's not actually battling for position here. Matt having a little bit of pace here, looking to try and recover a lap. Oh, we've got some damage going on for Mark Cochran. There is smoke spewing out of the engine. He's probably going to have to bring the car into the pits. He's not too far off, because that car's probably going to blow and then require a tow. In he goes. We'll try and see what was going on for his car there. Blowing smoke for quite a while. So it's just driving fine. And then suddenly she just blows out that rear. There it goes, into turn 1. Not sure if he may have taken some damage, but getting in and using that fast repair got him in and back out on the track. So there's just under 2 minutes remaining. So he's still in 7th position. Philip Buckland in position 6. Ryan Carlson, you're having to make another stop for fuel, so that's just cost him the race lead. He's moved down to position 5. Possibly utilising a pit during the safety car for the extra bit of fuel. May have supposed to be a bit more luck. So we did see our current race lead Sebastian take opportunity for that extra splash. And then being under safety car, it kind of throws you out with trying to determine your fuel loads. And Matt sitting in 4th position and looking pretty nicely. Dean Williams looking for a spot on the podium. There's a minute to go. He's in P3. That's Mark Cochran behind him, so they're not racing for position. Blake Urquhart in position 2. Now race leader Sebastian Van Del charging ahead. Just 40 seconds remaining, so we'll be seeing white flag as he crosses the control line here. Oh, he's been in a couple of blinks. A bit of lag. And he's got some lap traffic coming up. So he's crossed the line. So they didn't wave the white flag of it being time race. We will see the white come up as it counts down to 0 here. So it's the last lap. He's got 1.7 seconds between himself and Blake. I think it'll be a clean sweep for Sebastian. His fastest lap is a 59.722. That's Sebastian Vandel's lap. Oh, Blake's just hit the curbs. That's going to be doing a little bit of damage and cost him some time. He's not at risk of losing position here unless he's done significant damage. Oh, I think there may be some steering issues going on with that front right. It looks a little bit buckled. Here we are, checkered flag being waved. Sebastian's going to slow down to cross the line with Blake. And there we are, our winner, Sebastian Vandel. Blake Urquhart in position 2. And our debut, Dean Williams, taking podium in position 3. So congratulations on your debut race with us in the scoring podium. And the guys destroying the cars at the end of turn 1. Matt Hardigan in position 4. Ryan Carlson crossing the line in P5. So not having enough fuel for him. You can see an overturned car down the end. Philip Buckland coming up into position 6. And I think Cochrane already crossing the line. P7. That's all the drivers complete there. So we'll bring up the results now. There we have the winner for round 2 after 36 laps around Lime Rock GP, Sebastian Vandel taking the clean sweep. Yes, he still holds the fastest lap, so well done, Sebastian. And then also on the podium is Blake Urquhart and Dean Williams. And then the rest of the standings is Matt Hardigan, Ryan Carlson, Philip Buckland, Mark Cochrane, Matt Tesserio, Stephen Banks, Russell Gander, Nathan Peters, Aaron Maguire and Kellen Hodgkinson. So we'll be loading over and having our podium finishers come into the chat. Should be able to see these guys in a moment. And there we have, guys. Congratulations, Sebastian, a clean sweep.
Thank you. It was a awesome race, and I was doubting myself the last 5-10 minutes, but yeah, Ryan made a mistake and feel bad for him, but yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he needed to come in for a splash of fuel. The car was looking a little bit light, and then that makes seeing him drop down into position 5.
Yeah, he made a bit of a mistake into the chicane and bunny hopped the last sausage curve in the last chicane bit.
Ah, very unfortunate. Yes. Well,
he drove an awesome race.
yeah, it was good seeing you guys making plenty of exchanges. He's led just about halfway each, so it was good racing seeing you guys out there.
Yeah, it was good racing between Dean, Blake and yeah, Ryan.
Yeah, and congratulations, Blake. P2.
Yeah, I'd like to say a big sorry to Steve as well. Not sure what happened there. I'm normally flat through there. I don't know if he's just got a bit loose or... yeah, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I'd like to say sorry to Steve. And there was another incident during the race as well. When I got involved, I had to pit again. That was with 2 other cars. That one wasn't my fault though, but I'll take P2 and yeah, I had to gain more decisions. Just I know I'll get a point penalty for that, so that will keep me in front. And great race there, Seb and Dean, as always. So yeah, come back next week.
Yep, congratulations, Dean. So on your debut race, take podium.
Yeah, was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Just done a couple of laps earlier. Blake got me onto it, so I thought, oh, I'll do a few laps, and I thought, oh, I seem fairly quick. We'll give it a go.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, a few close calls, a little couple of runoffs as well, and still be able to make podium. So well done.
Yeah, don't know what I was doing there, but anyway, try better next week.
Yep, that's it. Well, it's going to be pretty exciting. It's very, very close racing around Lime Rock, so Alton Park's going to be even more tight and fierce, so it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. Better put some practice in today.
Sounds good.
Thanks JT for that, mate. That was yeah, that was awesome.
No worries. Congratulations again, and then look forward to seeing the battling going on next week. And then also, if you are in the Bathurst 1000 as well for the weekend.
Yeah, we will be there. Me and Seb will be, yeah, we're deciding out of the Ford of Holden, so you'll see us in one of them.
The classic argument.
That's it.
I look forward to seeing it.
Thanks, mate.
Good luck, guys. Thanks.
Thanks for that.
There we have Sebastian Van Dil, Blake Urquhart and Dean Williams, our podium finishers for round 2. And then the next round is Alton Park Circuit International for round 3. So it'll be some very close, fierce racing action around Alton Park. So if you haven't done so, make sure to hit that follow button so you can be notified when we go live. So there's plenty of racing action. We'll be going live again on Thursday night with Project Cars 2 on PlayStation. And we are running 2 divisions, so we'll be seeing a whole bunch of drivers out on track contesting around Brands Hatch in the Formula Rookies, so more open wheel action. And then also our first Bathurst 1000 on Sunday, so it will be at 8 AM, so it'll be an earlier start for us, but then we'll be doing the full coverage of the race. So it'll be the ZB Commodore and Mustang GT absolutely battling it out around the mountains, so do stay tuned for that. And thank you for tuning in tonight. Don't forget to hit the follow button and see you trackside next time.